Wind rises slightly, and the crew time steps carefully as the stern becomes a working edge. Deck checks start with swivels and gloves, because small failures become injuries when tension spikes. Bait stations open, and each circle hook receives fresh bait for a long soak at depth. Leaders are staged in order, preventing tangles that can cut hands when the set accelerates.
Paper charts guide the set, keeping decisions grounded in experience instead of glowing screens.
Wind rises slightly, and the crew time steps carefully as the stern becomes a working edge. The set begins, and the first baited hook slips away, starting a chain of patient risk. Each hook enters on rhythm, because speed without order creates snapback danger on deck. Floats and markers drop last, so the line can be recovered fast if weather shifts. With the set finished, the deck quiets, and the operation becomes waiting and listening. Coffee and short rest keep focus sharp, because the first pull decides whether placement was right. The vessel circles toward the waypoint, aligning approach so the line comes aboard cleanly. Gloves grab the buoy line, and recovery begins with hand signals over engine noise. The hauler warms under load, because hesitation can turn into injury when tension surges. Wind rises slightly, and the crew time steps carefully as the stern becomes a working edge. Subtle tugs travel up the main line, hinting that bait has finally been found downrange. Eyes track every jerk and slack, because the first real hit decides the day. A final empty hook clears, and then the line pulls hard enough to change voices on deck.
Deep below, a swordfish angles in on scent, keeping distance before committing to the bait. The strike lands, and the circle hook rotates cleanly into the jaw corner as the fish surges.
On deck, the hauler shudders, and hands move to safe positions before the first heavy lift. The surface boils tight to the hull, signaling a strong fish circling under rising pressure.
Underwater, the hooked fish twists, and the leader stays straight from mouth to mainline.
The leader appears, and the crew slows the pull to control the bill near steel.
A broad head breaks surface, and the swordfish throws spray as it tries to turn away.
The first peak hits as the swordfish leaps close, shaking its head hard against the tight line.
After the leap, timing replaces strength, and the crew guides the swordfish to a safer angle.
The swordfish surges again, and the hauler slows to prevent slack, recoil, and a sudden turn under the hull.
Boots brace wide as the leader comes tight, keeping the bill away from knees and rail.
On deck, the swordfish thrashes violently, and the crew backs off before pinning the leader low.
Gloves stabilize the hook point, keeping it seated while the fish tires under steady pressure.
On deck, the swordfish thrashes violently, and the crew backs off before pinning the leader low.
The line keeps coming, and another leader jerks, promising a second fight deeper in the set.
Below, a second swordfish commits fast, and the circle hook rotates into the jaw corner again.
The line vibrates like a wire, translating panic into measurable force at the hauler.
Another peak erupts as the swordfish jumps and crashes back, throwing sheets of water across steel.
Two men coordinate tail rope placement, because the bill can turn a mistake into stitches.
The fish is guided flat,
reducing leverage before the next lift brings it fully aboard.
A third approach begins below, where bait hangs still and another predator watches from the edge.
The hook sets once more, and the leader stays straight from mouth to mainline under steady pull.
The swordfish hits the deck in a violent roll, and steel turns slick under controlled shouting.
Pliers back the circle hook out cleanly, and the bill is pointed away before icing begins.
Deep down, a fresh bait hangs still until a shadowed swordfish commits with sudden speed.
The hauler drum slows because steady pressure keeps the leader straight and prevents slack around the bill. At the rail, the fish slashes water with its bill, forcing hands lower and feet wider.
Two men trade positions, one on leader and one on tail rope, keeping angles tight and clean. Underwater, the hooked swordfish rockets upward, and the circle hook stays locked in the jaw corner.
The second breach explodes beside the hull, and the line whistles as the fish shakes hard mid-air.
After the splashdown, the crew draws the fish close, guiding the bill outboard with measured pulls.
A lift line takes weight, and the swordfish slides onto the deck, where movement is stopped without gore.
Hands secure the tail and head, and the leader is cleared so the next hook can rise safely.
Another leader snaps tight, and the deck falls silent for a second before commands return.
Foam lines the wake, and the fish circles under the surface, pulling the main line in short bursts.
A larger swordfish thrashes across wet steel, and boots scramble to keep the bill from ankles.
Cold seawater rinse clears the deck, and the hook is removed cleanly before icing starts.
Empty hooks rise again, proving the set holds long stretches of nothing between the fights.
The hold lid opens, and the swordfish is packed in ice, locking quality before the run home. Coils are stacked and clipped because loose leaders become whips when the boat rolls suddenly.
Faces show fatigue, yet routine stays sharp as gloves check knots, drains, and the hauler guard.
The bow turns toward port lights, and the wake replaces conflict with steady industrial motion.
Dock structures appear tight in frame, and lines are ready for a clean, quiet approach.
Handwritten counts confirm the haul, and ice storage is checked one last time before unloading.
Cheers break out beside stacked swordfish, marking hard work with relief as the deck finally calms.
Cranes lift iced fish in slings, shifting value from deck chaos to dockside schedule today. Forklifts move fast because minutes of warmth can dull texture long before a knife ever touches meat. Stainless receiving bays open the totes, and whole swordfish slide onto tables under cold air. Weights are logged with unreadable paperwork, keeping traceability without putting codes on screen anywhere visible. Cold rinses wash salt away, preparing skin and muscle for clean cuts on the breakdown line. The head is removed cleanly, and the bill is controlled, keeping the station safe and efficient. Long strokes open the backbone, and pale swordfish meat appears firm, never resembling tuna or salmon. Loins are lifted in heavy sections, and trimming removes dark bloodlines without showing gore today.
Steaks are cut to uniform thickness, giving restaurants predictable portions from a fish that fought wildly.
Quality checks focus on firmness and color, confirming clean, pale flesh before sealing begins now. Vacuum seals lock moisture in, and plain packs slide forward with no readable labels or branding.
Blast freezing pulls heat fast, turning fresh portions into stable inventory before the cold chain moves them. Unmarked cartons close and tape down because the process sells precision, not printed marketing alone.
Pallets stacked tight with airflow gaps, keeping every case equally cold in deep storage aisles. Freezer doors shut quickly and vapor spills out, showing how fragile temperature control can be. Order picking stages pallets for transport, and gloved hands verify seals by touch instead of scanners. A pre-chilled reefer trailer receives the load, and the factory shifts from cutting to logistics pace. Sealed packs are pressed and inspected, catching tiny leaks before cold storage locks them in. Portions slide down stainless lanes, and speed increases without sacrificing clean spacing between units.
A light glaze sets over frozen surfaces, reducing dehydration during long moves through storage.
Plain cartons close fast, and tape seals the shift's work without showing marketing or codes. Pallets stack tight with airflow gaps, balancing stability and cold circulation in every row. Freezer doors open briefly, and vapor spills out as pallets roll into deep storage. Dispatch staging begins, and workers pull pallets forward by routine rather than scanning screens. A pre-chilled trailer receives the load, and doors close quickly to protect temperature. Seals are checked by hand, and the cold chain shifts from factory rhythm to road timing. The trailer pulls out slowly, and dock noise fades into steady engine drone.
Inside the cab, a plane route sheet stays unreadable, keeping focus on the cold run. The factory floor resets, washing stations down for the next delivery and the next cut.
Reefer air circulates across pallets, holding frost, while vibration tests every wrap and corner. At a cold dock, doors crack open briefly, and workers move fast to limit warm air.
Pallets enter a colder room, and the chain holds firm without visible screens or labels.
A sharp knife trims clean edges, keeping portions even for predictable sear and plating. A sharp knife trims clean edges, keeping portions even for predictable sear and plating.
Salt and oil go on lightly, letting the fish stay clean and meaty under heat. The pan hisses, and the first side sears golden while the center stays dense. A quick flip finishes the surface, and the portion rests to keep juices stable. Simple sides are plated, keeping attention on the clean, pale steak at center.
At a quiet table, an American diner cuts the steak, revealing firm flakes and light color.
Another plate arrives, showing consistent portioning that started on steel tables far from shore.
Fork and knife move steadily, and conversation stays low, matching the documentary's grounded tone.
A close cut shows clean flakes and a mild sheen, evidence of proper sear and rest.
The final bites finish, and plates clear without spectacle, letting the work speak for itself. Back on the coast, routine continues, turning one hard catch into steady supply and meals.
The story ends quietly with clean place settings, while the ocean remains unseen and indifferent.